All right, everybody, how's it going? How's it going? It's your man, SPMARSHALL2018 here. Thank you for joining the live stream. You guys are probably hearing the monitor feedback in the background, but that's okay. Hope everything is coming out okay for you. Looks like it should be. Going to be breaking down this enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms today across portions of central western Missouri, including the Kansas City area. We're going to move that. We don't need that. We don't need that. All right, so let's go to our graphic here. I was gonna wait for the SBC to issue their day one convective outlook, but we're gonna just go ahead and get to it. It should be coming out now. The new update, the 19Z outlook update. But we're gonna go ahead and dive deep into it. Let's break down what we got going on. We got an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms for portions of western Missouri and western northwest Missouri. It actually extends all the way down. If we look at where this enhanced risk is at, it stretches all the way from Iowa, Nebraska, all the way down towards Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas, the far north of Texas area. We have a pretty dangerous situation today. The main threats for today are going to be large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. For those of you in that area, let's talk about this tornado threat. The tornado threat, anywhere within the black hatched area is supposed to damaging is the wind, right? Yeah, the damaging wind threat anywhere within the hatched area from Iowa, Kansas, northern Missouri, just north of I believe that's US Highway 36. Anywhere around those areas could expect wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, or actually 80 miles per hour or greater. And there is a bit of a concern from hail as well across the Kansas City area, western Missouri, Johnson County, Jackson County, stuff like that. Anywhere around there is expected to be pretty significant. So we got to make sure that we're keeping an eye out for that as well. All right, let me check IamBot to see if they issued it. They have not issued that. Okay, we'll move forward. So looking at the models, this is a 500 millibar height wind. Let me make sure you guys are able to see it okay. It looks like you guys are able to see it okay. This is from pivotalweather.com. This is the 18Z run. This is as of 12 o'clock this afternoon. We've got a bit of a positively tilted trough over the four range across Colorado. We've got a lot of southwesterly flow, strong southwesterly flow, around 50 to 60 knot jet streak of southwesterly flow extending all the way from New Mexico up to Missouri. As we progress through the day, the flow will strengthen. This is 22Z. This is right around the mid-afternoon hours going into the evening. This is 49. So let's take a look at the sounding right now. This is as of 18Z. We've got, like I said, we've got a positive tilted trough, strong southwesterly flow. So let's take a look at the 18Z sounding from Kansas City. Let's see what we've got right now. So we look at our sounding here. We've got a very moist low levels, 64 over 60. That's actually IamBot. Let's see what happened there. And they just updated the day one convective outlook, and it's still enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms across EEX's area. Okay, so we'll wait for a little bit for them to load to their website. All right, so this is a sounding as 18Z. We've got southeasterly winds at the surface becoming southwesterly off. That's your wind shear. We've got 64 to over 60 your dew point and temperature, I believe. You've got very. Anytime you see the red and green come together, we talk about that with radar, but when you see this on a sounding, when you see the red and green come together, that signifies that we have a very moist low levels, and that's exactly what I went outside to take the dog out this morning. It was very moist and unstable out there. As you get into the mid levels of the atmosphere, it gets a little more drier, but it's very saturated in the low levels. We got a capping aversion of negative 71. That is due to a little bit of a dry layer in the upper level, in the mid levels of the atmosphere. The shear looks great. This photograph is somewhat curved. We got about of low level shear. We got about 41 knots of low level shear, 0 to 1 kilometer shear. And so that's really good for tornado development. If anything, the main threat for today, the highest concern for today is tornadoes. The tornado threat will be more persistent. The strong tornado threat, that is, will be more associated with the discrete supercells that develop. So anytime you have discrete cells, that are not, focusing on another storm's energy, uh, when they're individually going, they will be if they're supercellular, discrete supercells, they can become very very independent. They can produce tornadoes. So we're going from 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3. Let's go about 4 o'clock. This is where I think the main time frame for thunderstorm development, severe thunderstorm development, will be at 4 o'clock. The problem is if we can't overcome that capping inversion that's going to be in play, that's going to shut down any thunderstorm development because the cap is still, it's weakening, but it's expected to strengthen back into the afternoon hours. It's a persistent cap. So if we can't break that cap, that's going to limit this weather threat, hinder this weather threat for this afternoon, and instead we'll transition to phase two of this weather threat, which we'll talk about in a minute. So this is what the forecast sign looks like as of what did I say 4 o'clock this afternoon. We've definitely got a curved photograph here. This is what we look for when we see this red curved curvature. That tells us that there is a strong low-level wind shear, and the wind fields will be there for tornado potential. There's a lot of low-level wind shear. I didn't see this earlier. Looks like this is a new forecast that came out. I looked at the forecast this morning. The cap does appear to be weakening again at 4 o'clock with -10, so it does appear to be weakening and starting to get moistened. We do see southerly winds at the surface becoming southwesterly aloft. A bit of speed shear, a little strong low flow, but as you get into the mid levels, it kind of gets a little bit more light. You've got 32 knots of 0 to 1 kilometer shear, 0 to 35 knots of 0 to 3 kilometer shear, and then you got 50 knots of effective bulk shear. So the kinematics are there. It's just the capping inversion, and also another thing that we gotta also mention as well is we have to talk about the instability. Okay, now let's see. Let's go to most unstable cape for just a minute. So if we go based off this is the HRRR. So if we go based off the HRRR right now, if we go based off the HRRR, there's not really a whole lot, right? This is as of 12 o'clock. If we go a little bit towards If we go towards 4 o'clock, we do get a bit at the Kansas-Missouri border. We do get about 1,000 joules, 1,445 joules per kilogram of instability. That's enough. As we get to 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we do see still plenty of instability there. This is according to the HRRR. We got about 1,697 joules per kilogram of instability. So the instability will be there. The problem with that, though, is that there's a lot of cloud cover. If we look at satellite imagery, which I don't think we can with this one. If we look at satellite imagery, medical discussion has just been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. Wow, already. Okay, tornado watch likely. Tornadoes. Okay, we'll get to that in just a minute. Okay, so the weather's already acted up. All right. So we have plenty of instability, but the problem is right now there's a lot of cloud cover outside. Matter of fact, we can go to the satellite and look at the satellite imagery. Show you guys the cloud cover. Bear with me, guys. I'm new to streaming briefings. I've done this before, but not actually on YouTube. So bear with me if I'm dragging what I'm saying. Animation loops. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I actually know. I'm not really concerned about the moisture. The moisture is there. I just want to show you guys the cloud cover. This is our problem. This is what we're dealing with. The cloud cover. When you have cloud cover coming in, it really hinders the atmosphere from recharging. The atmosphere, and the reason why there's cloud cover is because there's been overnight storms that have been happening over the past several hours, and going into the morning hours. We have leftover convective cloud debris. And that's what's really hindering our severe weather, our ability to be able to generate instability. And so that's a bit of concern. But these models, HRRR is pretty bullish. Let's try the GFS and let's see what it tells us. The GFS, if I remember correctly this morning, wasn't really as bullish with that, with the instability. Wait for it to load here. So we wait for it to load. Okay, here we go. This is 18Z. This is as of this. No, this is okay. This is about 4 o'clock, I believe. And then look, this is around, I believe, 6 o'clock tonight. Not a whole lot of instability. Maybe 1,000 joules per kilogram. Okay, the strongest instability appears to be across eastern Kansas and going down to Oklahoma. So the GFS, if I look at the satellite imagery and go based off what's happening, I would say the GFS is more accurate with respect to the instability because it's just not you're not going to get far with lingering cloud cover throughout the day. It's just not going to happen. So I think, as much as I hate to admit it, because I like the stronger setup, but I think the GFS may be correct as far as instability because we're just not going to get enough to get a more enhanced severe weather threat. Now, if we get a low-level jet to go, if we get a low-level jet that ramps up, that would most certainly help. And we can look and see if we have that low-level jet, if that low-level jet kicks up, if we look at the 850 height and wind, and we look at later this evening. I want to go to the hold on, GFS, no, not the sounding. Let me look what the HRRR says. We're going to look at this low-level jet and see if it gets going around 7 o'clock, because if it does, then yes, we could see. And it does look like we have 850. Okay, it does look like we have a 40 to 50 knot about 40 to 50 knot low level jet that ramps up across eastern Kansas, western Missouri. So that could provide the storms with some aid in developing and trying to strengthen into severe thunderstorms. So to recap all this, the thing about it is we're not going to touch over anything because we've got stuff going on already. We still haven't got to the SPC outlook. The thing about this setup, guys, is that the kinematics are there. The wind shear is there. The flow is there. The problem is we have instability. That's the main ingredient really that you need with severe thunderstorms. You need instability because that's what causes the warm air to rise up, and it becomes that allows the cumulonimbus clouds to tower and become storms. If you don't have the instability, you're not going to get a whole lot of that. But like I said, we get the low level jet, and then another thing too. If the storms don't initiate in the afternoon, the early afternoon hours, so around 4 or 5-ish, something like that, you'll have a cold front that'll come in across eastern Kansas, and it will provide the forcent to allow storms to either congeal to allow it to develop and become a squall line. It'll be more of a quasi-linear convective system as it moves across the Kansas City metro and move on east through central Missouri. Okay, so let's pivot away from that. Let's talk about the new outlook that just came out because we still haven't touched that yet. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my site here. Refresh that as well because we've got a new outlook that just came out. Storm Prediction Center continues to nothing really changes. It even says down here no categorical changes were made to the day one convective outlook. It still remains the same. Enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms across western Missouri, western and central Missouri, western Missouri, eastern Kansas. There is a bit of what they did do different is they did add a significant. Oh my gosh! And guys, it's crazy because I'm actually going to be in Kansas City tonight. Like we have church in Kansas City, and they have a significant tornado risk in that area today. They just added a 10% and then attached. So yeah, it could be pretty bad tonight. It could be pretty bad. There's a 10% probability of a significant tornado. If you guys know what that means, it's serious. Again, the wind probability stay the same, hail probability stay the same. Now let's look at this mesoscale discussion from the SPC. Watch likely. Severe threat will increase through the afternoon. A watch will likely be needed. Severe potential watch likely. Monitoring for increasing severe potential this afternoon. Initial threat should be large hail and damaging winds with a gradually increasing tornado threat. So agitated balance. So you guys can see that the weather, it's already coming up. Here's the cold front that I was talking about. This cold front is going to move eastward with time. As it moves east, if storms develop around this area around 4 o'clock, they'll be discrete if this cold front stays right here. But as the evening progresses, the cold front will gradually move east. Any storm that was formed and that was discrete will be a congealed line with this cold front because the cold front is going to force it into a quasi-linear convective system, which will turn to a squall line and move east through central Missouri. If so, that would be more of a damaging wind event and also a QLCS tornado type situation. So brief spin ups, very brief spin ups, very brief tornadoes, not as strong. But if they could develop around this area right now, 4 o'clock, that cap appears to be weakening. So if it does, I think that we could see stronger long track tornadoes with that scenario. So I hope I did a good job. Oh, they just issued another one. Storm Prediction Center, we will wait. We will wait. The Storm Prediction Center just issued. Oh, okay, that's not for our area. Okay, good. Okay, that's probably for another area. But anyway, I hope I did a good job. I know I was kind of lagging a little bit with some of the things I was saying and stuff like that. But to recap, there's an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms across. much of western Missouri, including the Kansas City area. Large hail, damaging winds, tornadoes, wind, and hail will all be possible as we progress through the day. So, into tonight. So, appreciate you all for watching. If you guys like this live stream, this is kind of a pop-up thing. I had to really scramble to put all this together. So, if you guys like this video or stream, be sure to like and subscribe. And stay tuned to your local National Weather Service. If you live in Kansas City, it is the National Weather Service in Pleasant Hill that you will be wanting to follow, as they are responsible for the area. If you're in Topeka, Kansas, you want to follow the National Service of Topeka, Kansas. They're both on Twitter and Facebook. And stay safe, everybody. All right, talk to you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great and safe Friday evening and into the weekend. Thank you.